Give me that.
Hey, Fat Fish heads. It's time for another edition of the hottest new podcast on all platforms, Fat Fish. Sit back and strap yourself in for the wildest ride on the open seas. Now, flap your fins for the fabulous Fat Fish brothers, Eric Fish Snyder and Brad Grunny Grunberg, a.k.a. Snacks.
Ha ha ha! Yes, sir. We are back. 77? Am I right? Yes.
77 shows. 77 times. Have you put any more pictures on the back of your wall? Seems like there's a different picture. What is it every deli you go into or every B actor is in the back? Like, this is Renee Auberjonois, who was on the Love Boat season 3. I mean, in a picture of you. I sometimes there's pictures I think of Brad, like Brad's like Shaq will be at the forum talking to Steve Kerr, and Brad's in the background.
Like, oh, remember the guy? Remember the crazy guy that was on all the games with the hair? Remember the hair? Yeah. Remember that guy? Wow.
He was a religious zealot. He used to carry the sign that said John, 16.
Yes.
And all the Proverbs guy. But he was everywhere. Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football in Atlanta. The next week you'd see him in a baseball game in Toronto. I remember that was the 70s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so how you been, buddy?
77. I'm doing well. I got a good night's sleep. But I got some things working, so I'm keeping them very close to the vest because no can of horrors. You know how that goes.
Right.
But doing well. Always look forward to seeing your pudding, buddy. Every Friday. Yep.
Back at you. October 2nd, I'll hit my 44th year in the bar business, bartending, managing, part ownership in some places, mom saloon, nightclubs. I know talent, and I've always said that a great bartender is not the drinks you make, it's how you deal with people and read a room. And we're going to be blessed to bring a guest in right away. This young lady, Deja, works right next door to me. Literally, I said this in the rehearsal, that a good NFL quarterback, Josh Allen, could throw a football from my bar to her bar. And we both work graveyard, the art of the vampire bartending. So let's give a big hand to one of my favorite bartenders in Las Vegas, Deja Rodriguez.
Hi.
What's up, Deja?
How are you guys?
Great. Welcome to the show.
How are you? Glad to be here.
Thank you.
I like that.
We're glad you got a good night's rest. We didn't. We were working all night.
Wow. You guys.
So that was good.
How do you do it, you guys? How do you do it? How did it start? Is it programming your mind to and then you come home, you don't go right to sleep, right, guys?
No.
Not usually. Sometimes if we get to, it just depends. We just like anyone else, you work your work schedule around your life. Hopefully that's how it works. Your job is always going to be part of your life. So that jobs are always part of your life. So if it works with your life, work it out. Yeah, I have a 10-year-old daughter, so I sleep while she goes to school. I work while she sleeps. Wow. That's the way it works out for me. Sure. And I'm the newest bartender to Timbers, and that's the shift that was available. So I said, I'll take it. I was trying to move up from a server to a bartender. So that's how it happened. The grave shift was available. I'd been asking to be a bartender. I've only been to Vegas 5 years. So I've been asking to be a bartender, and this is my shot. Here it is.
How long have you been a bartender?
I've only been doing the gaming bartending thing for 2 years because I've lived in Vegas for 5. But I've been bartending since I was 19 back in El Paso, Texas. I started bartending for Landry's. I was with Landry's for 6 years. Wow. So we know the Golden Nuggets, part of Landry's. We have a Landry's here, the Chart House, Saltgrass. I was part of that company for 6 years and just went from there. Bartended all over, little hole in the walls, karaoke bars, live music bars, all kinds of things.
That's great.
We work the same shift, midnight to 8. And the one thing I have going with the other bartenders, and we have 11 bars, Brad, from
Yeah.
like, let's say where
in our little
the
sector.
well, yeah, when you go, if you go to the Grand Teton Lodge, Deja, and you go all the way to the distill, there's 11 bars in about a mile and a half or maybe 2 miles. What I try and do, and I've got her involved in this, is we look after each other. If for example, a couple weeks ago, I had a couple walk outside to get an Uber, and all of a sudden he knocks on the back on the door and he says, "Have you seen Bernadette?" And I said, "No, she just walked out." He goes, "Well, I went to get the car and I saw her walking towards the street. She made a right." So I called Deja up and I said, "Is there a girl in there?"
Yeah.
And no. So if I throw someone out, God forbid I gotta get rid of someone, I'll call Deja and vice versa. So it's a really nice camaraderie we have as a bartending, because we are really, as a unit, the graveyard bartender, the vampire bartender, we're a weird animal. We deal with a whole different shift, Brad. Brad's a graveyard guy, Deja. When he comes to town, he'll come into your bar because
Okay.
you're a
Oh,
lot
you're
cute.
in town.
You're
Okay. Yeah. Come on
you're a
down.
lot cuter than I am. Yeah, yeah, and and he likes
Out for
food.
visits.
So what he asked the first question to you. I mean, what I try and do, and I'm pretty successful at doing it. I stay up all day and go to bed around. I wait till my wife comes home, have a little dinner, early dinner. About 4:30, I go to sleep. I live really close to the bar, so about 11:30, and I go to work. But you obviously have to work it around your family, because the sleep part of it, Brad, is the toughest thing to deal with on graveyard.
Yeah.
And how long have you been on graveyards?
Oh, I started Oasis on graveyard altogether almost 5 years now at Chuck's, but of my
Okay.
44 years, probably nine,
Okay. Just
eight or
doing
nine.
graveyards and
Yeah.
things like that. Okay. Like I said, I've only been doing it 2 years. Um, y- it's almost like a day to day, maybe a week to week basis, whatever's going to fit in your schedule that day, because that's part of the reason I work graveyard, so that I don't miss the things during the day, the pool parties, the awards assemblies, the parent teacher conferences, all the things during the day I want to be a part of, the Mother's Day celebrations, everything takes part during the day. So I'd rather lose sleep than lose that family time, lose that mom time, lose my fun time when my friends come to town and want to
You have
hang out during
friends?
the day and stuff.
You have friends? I can't
A
believe
few,
it.
a
Wow.
few friends, maybe about five.
Let me ask you this. I always ask people, I'm fascinated by what people do. I drive a Lyft. I always ask them, give me a story, give me a scenario that has happened to you. Like, you're a very attractive woman. Do you have a guy come to the bar? He had a little too much to drink, and he tries to, woo you. Is there a great line that some guy gave you, or some woman, or all that good stuff?
A great line.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, you know what? I've been doing this since I was 19, and I don't know. I don't know if there's been any great lines. I'm trying to think. Of course, there's always those classics. Did it hurt when you fall from heaven? And things like that. you know, all those kinds of things. Which was a good one. Oh, is your name Campbell's? Because you're good. Like that one
Oh, I
was kind
like
of
that
funny.
one.
That one was kind of funny. But just we've heard all the pickup lines and we've seen it all, kind of thing. I can't be wooed. That's part of the reason I'm a graveyard bartender. Like, you see me smiley, fun, things like that. But when it's like you're giving me the bullshit, I make the face and they're like, "Ooh, this bitch can't be fucked with." So
I like
kind of
that.
thing. So I don't know. I don't. Obviously, yes, people do hit on me and stuff like that, but I don't really give that vibe. So it's really just a conversation, and then they're just like, "Wow, you're so awesome," just by simple conversation. I ask how your day is, how are you doing, and people are like, "Wow, you're asking how I am," and things like that. So it's just by simple conversation, and they're just,
Everybody loves a challenge. So these guys, you tell them no, they go, wait a minute. Yeah.
perhaps. I seem like I can't, I'm not, really into it kind of thing. And they're like, she's not falling for it.
You understand why he asked you that. He baited you because he's going to use these lines when he comes to Las Vegas.
Yes,
When he comes to,
those
and
are
go,
good
oh,
lines.
can't.
Those are, my top two. The Campbell's one is pretty funny. I like that one. Like I said, remembering the lines, I'm like, that was probably the best one.
The best one I
Have
had in
you?
my yeah.
Go ahead, Brad.
Oh, no, the best one I had in my car was, I'd untie my tubes for you. Some guy who had
Ooh,
a
girl.
vasectomy. Yeah, I
You
love
know
it.
what I get? You know what I get
Yeah.
at my age? You look good for an older man.
Oh,
Everyone
yeah,
loves fish.
Yeah. You know, we share a ton of customers, Brad,
I was
and
gonna
it,
yeah.
say
it
we really
we
do.
and nothing. I said, I gotta get this girl on my podcast. Nothing but accolades, and they'll come to my bar, eat, go to her bar, play, vice versa. And it's like I said, your bosses don't want to hear this, but it's good with the bartenders have that kind of closeness and watch out because our shift, you talk about graveyard, and I'm going to ask her this. There's always the security aspect. You think about you're by yourself. Now you have a cook with you also, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I do
Yes.
too. But we have, the doors are. I'm sure your place too. We lock the doors, Brad, on graveyard because you want to be able to monitor who goes in and out. And it's crazy because I don't know what your demographics are in your bar, but it's not really. I get a lot of food, gaming, but it's not the traditional, Brad, when you go to a bar and you see couples date night. It's not date night. We're lucky. We get industry people. People get off of work on the strip 3, 4 in the morning and want something to eat, gamble on their way home. And then you get stragglers. I mean, you get them too, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's one thing I like about graveyard is the quality of people. It's not a big quantity usually. Sometimes there's a lot of people, doing that, but it's just the quality of people, the people that are there to eat, to drink, to, just be in a restaurant that's open. They're grateful that we're even open and serving food at this time. So those are the kind of people, like you said, in our thing. I'm not You mentioned like the security aspect. I mean, I haven't, luckily, knock on wood, had anything that was super serious happen or anything like that. Thank goodness. Haven't had to throw someone out that's been a huge danger, a huge threat. So I
Right,
do take it for granted sometimes. I need to be more cautious. I'm
right.
learning more and more. The other graveyard bartender, Victor, so it's either me or Victor there. Um, he's super cautious about who he lets in and things like that. I need to be more like that. Find a more medium of, of who we
Yeah,
let in.
Sure.
it's tough and tough. People are more angered now. I mean, and then again, I'm telling you things you already know, Deja. I talked to Brad because I think Brad would be a great bartender. But all bartending is multitasking and reading the room. Am I right?
Oh
That's it.
yeah, for sure.
Making
And just
drinks, and you're a
you're a
coin
hostess of
salesman.
the party. You're the hostess of the party kind of thing. You welcome everybody. You make sure everyone's doing okay, happy. I like to have fun at my bar. That temperature's right, music's right, food's right, drinks are right. That's it. That's all it really takes. It's not rocket science.
What
Give me
happened
the
to?
funniest thing that's happened to you at Timbers or one of the bars. I mean, give me a funny story that either you were embarrassed or you saw someone get embarrassed and you just lost it. You laughed your ass off.
Well, kind of not. It wasn't really funny, but kind of in the mix of the security thing. Like I said, I haven't been here very long. I don't, much less been to a hospital here. Thank goodness. I don't know what the hospital gowns here look like. So a guy came to the door, and mind you, we have like a glass. I can't see what you're wearing, and it looked like a regular shirt, had like a pattern. But so I'm looking, and I buzz him in, and it's a hospital gown. He's in a hospital gown.
Oh,
Fuck.
that's no underwear. I
Yeah,
guess
like
no
whole
underwear.
hospital gown. I was like, oh my god. Like I said, I don't know how they look. Back home, they're like a green pattern kind of thing. So and like I said, I didn't really notice. He didn't look crazy or anything.
I
But
got
he's
one. I got one for you. Brad knows this story. I might have said it 20 podcasts ago. I walk all the ladies out to their cars because we have a backyard park. You have spots in the front of the building. All our parking's in the back. So
yeah.
I walk these two girls out, and I look to the. All of a sudden, I get in the car and I hear this. I hear from the street, Jeff, stop, stop. And I look and I see a guy in a hospital gown, right? And I see his dick hanging out, and two hospital orderlies running after him, right? Because across the street from both of us, Brad, where you'll be soon, is Centennial Hospital, which has the biggest
Exactly.
psych ward, right?
We have a
So if they
hospital
escape, they're
across.
gonna exactly. If they escape, I was laughing so hard that I said, I gotta check this out. As I go, and they finally caught him at the driveway, but he's running, things yanking everywhere. They're screaming, and yeah, we get crazies.
Fish.
Yeah, he
There's
came.
something in. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
he
something
came in.
you guys need to know. I want to
Tell
be
us.
totally transparent. That was me. That was, that was
I
I
don't,
was actually
nah,
there. It was
I,
me.
if that was you, because the thing that was dangling was pretty much bigger than you probably have, my friend. Yeah, yeah.
He
and
looks a little different than you.
they could have stopped you with the sub sandwich.
or some
So,
wings.
or some wings, yeah. So
That's nice. That your daughter, what is she? Your beautiful 10-year-old daughter. I bet she runs the show, huh?
She more and more every day. It's crazy. Up to yeah, I know you fish. You have kids. Do you have any kids?
Not that I know of.
Not that you know of. Not yet.
I have a
They'll
feeling
come
that
out of the woodwork
somebody's gonna
sometimes.
tap me on the shoulder. Yeah, Daddy, is that you? Who are you? You and Mommy Bang Bang. Here I'm
Let's
25
get a test.
no, that ain't happening. Hey, Deja.
Yes.
I love this guy like a brother. I met him 32 years ago. He came to my bar, want to shoot a pilot for Fox. So you have to look at this. You asked me, you just said, does he have any kids? This is what the woman wakes up to next in the morning. That's that. Come on. You know, yeah. Look how pissed off the dog is.
I was
That's
gonna
my
say, look
daughter.
at the dog. The dog looks just fine.
Yeah, that's my daughter Annie. She's
Yeah.
12 years old. Just had her
Yeah.
birthday. Yeah.
So
12-year-old. See, you do have.
Yeah.
Those are
See?
just like kids. They're a lot of work, for sure.
Oh,
I don't have
yeah.
any pets, but everyone around me does, and that's too much already.
Oh God, yes.
They're not even my pets, and it's too much.
Do you like living in Vegas?
I do, yeah. So far, so good. You know what? Bartending is one of the deciding factors that brought me over here because my sister had been here for a while. Of course, like I said, I've been bartending for a while, and she's like, you can bartend here. It's all over the city and things. So I said, you know, why not? My mom was the golden goose. I brought my mom over here. We have a whole village supporting me. So
Oh, that's great.
we're all here for each other. So that's what makes the city the best. But other than that, like people like to say, same shit, different city. I go to
Did you
work,
ha-
you
did you
know.
have to go to bartending school, or did you learn on the move?
No, I've just been learning, like I said, for years and years. Worked at so many different places. You know, you pick up all different kinds of skills, shot making skills, the craft cocktails, the speed, the being a hostess part. Yeah.
If somebody wants to buy you guys a drink, company policy, are you allowed to accept that drink?
not in my place. No.
No, we can't drink on the job, but sometimes what I'll do is I'll buy it and have it after my shift. So we can drink after our shift and gamble. And I'll just show the bartender, hey, you know what? Someone bought me a drink. This is what it was. Here's the receipt. And I can have a cocktail afterwards. You know what I mean? So, because some people are very insistent. And like for me, for example, I'm Mexican. And if I'm offering you food or drinks or something, it's rude to turn it down in my culture kind of thing. So you better take that shot. You know, hey, and like I said, some of them are so insistent sometimes that it gives a bad vibe if you're like, no, you know. So I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll put it on your tab. Thank
There you
you.
go.
I'll have it after work. And I tell
There
them,
you go. Well, you can catch the Fat Fish podcast on Facebook Live, YouTube, DBTV, Roku, and check out clips of Fat Fish. We're going to put this beautiful young lady on, Deja, at TikTok at Fish6134. Thanks to Shucks Tavern.
perfect.
Because you know what? And everything we say in this show is not reflective of the opinions of Shucks Tavern, Johnny Cocktails Entertainment. That is Deja. Deja works at Timbers on North Durango, right
Yes.
next to Fish. And we're discussing the life of the night vampire bartender. The downtime. Brad's been in there and he goes, God damn it, Fish, you're dead. There's always a lull. We don't want that.
No,
I always find something to do, watch TV, I'll eat, clean.
there's always
Sometimes it's a cleansing for me. Does that make sense?
there's always something to do for sure.
Yeah.
We have specific cleaning duties that we do as well, you know, so always something to clean. And like you said, if you have an actual 20, 15, who knows how long the minute is because someone can walk in any minute. If you have a little bit of time to actually sit down and eat, why not? That sounds great. That's few and far between, but if I have a little bit of time to actually sit down and eat, I'm going to do it. Yeah, that sounds good.
That's great.
Yeah, like you said, but I'm a clean freak, so I definitely do a lot of cleaning and make sure, like I said, we have like specific duties. We're more of a corporate place kind of thing. Are you guys more of a corporate as well, Shucks?
No, there's only two Shucks. We're there's two Shucks, and then we're We're aligned with the Montana Meat Companies, the same owners.
Okay, Montana Meat Company.
There's
Yeah.
4 stores. Yeah. So no,
So it's just that one in the Flamingo location then.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
Flamingo.
I thought
Yeah.
there were more. I've been to both of those. Okay. But
Right.
yeah, we have about 7 locations for the Timbers, so more of a corporate place, things like that. Yeah.
I remember going to your first one, where it's now a Jackpot Joni's down on Lake Mead and the Best of the West over there on Rainbow. Your first
I've
Timbers
heard
went in
I've heard of so many
1994.
different locations. Yeah, I've heard of so many
Yeah.
locations.
Yeah.
I was
So
only about 5 years old in 1994. So
5 years old. 5
I
years
was born
old in 1994.
I was
Oh
born
my
in
God.
'89, yeah, so I was only 5 years old
Wow.
at that
Oh,
time.
Wow. That is great. Bartending's, I
Crazy
mean,
stuff.
there's an art to it. I mean, like you said, like in show business, I'm an actor and a writer, and this one great friend of mine, Tom Martin, he worked on The Simpsons and all these great shows. He said, you don't have to be the best writer. You just got to get along with everybody in the room. So, like Fish said, you read the room and you see what goes on. Have you guys ever had to call the police? Have you ever had like somebody leaves and they're drunk and they get in their car? Well, how does that work? Are you liable? I mean, what? It's like a slippery slope, isn't it?
you go
Definitely.
first. You go first.
We don't want, that's not the goal. You can't, funny as it sounds, you can't get drunk at a bar. You can't be drunk here at a bar, honey. I can't let you get drunk, things like that. And we take courses, and we are definitely liable. There's a big responsibility that goes in between it. Like I said, I like to have fun, and when you're drunk, you're not really having fun. So yeah, I try not to get people drunk at my bar, definitely the ones that are driving. But luckily, we're a neighborhood bar. A lot of my clientele, I'd probably say about 50% of them walk to the bar. A lot of like apartments and things like that, or they'll Uber. So, and I definitely, you, like we mentioned before, the people that come in on our shifts, we, for the most part, know them. We know who they are. We know, what they drink and things like that. They're the quality people. So no, yeah, we don't want to get people drunk, and we'll definitely be liable.
Yeah. Well, I always tell everyone that get in that situation, Deja, I said, it's my job to get you home safe. Okay.
Exactly.
I'm giving you something that could change your attitude and your personality. And they usually get that, but it's funny. I will tell you this. My son said to me, you asked my kid, I have a kid that's 32 years old, and he says, Dad, what do you get out of this business when you finally get out? And I said, well, they're never going to give me a gold watch. And this is true. I'm not kidding. This is a bad thing. I have never cut someone off, Brad, and they said thank you. It's insane. It's always an argument. Come on, one more fish. Let's go. I'm not driving. I'm walking. You walking. You live in Henderson. You're not driving. You're walking to Henderson, idiot. So but you know what, Brad? The great thing about what we do right now that really helps, you just said it. Uber and Lyft. We had taxi cabs back in 1989, Deja, and took
I
45 minutes for them to get there. I could call an Uber on my, if I really care about you, and I do, I'll get an Uber on
exactly.
my phone.
Number
And get
one,
them.
Uber. Number two, I fake people out. Jack and Coke, I'll just give you Coke.
True.
The other day, someone asked for a Corona. I gave him a non-alcoholic Corona, and he didn't even notice. He's drinking that non-alcoholic Corona Zero, and he didn't even notice. Vodka tonic, just getting tonic and lime, baby. I won't give them a drink. So, and you can see on the cameras that I don't even put any alcohol in it, kind of thing, and they don't even notice. So that's another easier route out where people, they're oblivious to it anyways. Like I said, that Corona Zero, or if it's a draft beer, pour a little old Duels in a glass. Never know the difference. I got this. That's a way to avoid the entire situation altogether, and just be like, yeah, I got you. People notice when they're slowing you down, and they'll usually ask. Like, are you slowing me down? I'm like, absolutely. I can't be serving you a bunch of drinks in 1 hour.
Right.
Yeah.
Kindness, kill it with kindness, kind of thing is
Yeah.
the way I do it.
Can I
Smile
ask you a
goes a
question? Can
long
I
way.
ask you a question, Deja? That because
Yeah.
I've had this, and I've talked to other bartenders, a lot of them that in the neighborhood, and Brad, you jumping on this one. There's a whole new culture right now. I looked at one of my bars around 3 weeks ago, and I have a full bar, right? And everyone's on their phones. One guy takes out a tablet and he's watching the Terminator, and it's loud, and he got pissed off when I said, "Dude, no one, no one wants to listen." I've actually had not all, I
We
won't say
all don't want to hear it.
altercations. Yeah, it's when someone gets on a phone. Have you had this situation? They get in their phone and they're having an argument with some significant other. And when you say to them, "Hey man, can you shut this down?" the people don't want to listen to your conversation. They get mad at me. Have you ever had that happen to you? Because it's a whole new culture with cell phones and stuff going on.
The technology, usually people will keep to themselves and they'll have like headphones and stuff like that. If it does become a problem, like I said, I always kill any situation with kindness. um, I'll go start a conversation with that person to distract them from their phone. They obviously are trying to be distracted. Let me go talk to this person. They'll get off their phone, stop distracting my real gamers, because, people that are gaming are not going to be on their phones. They're actually gaming, kind of thing. They're not trying to talk to anybody. So that's, in a gaming bar, that's the real thing. If you're not distracting my gamers, then you're okay.
What's the end game for you? Do you want to own a bar one day? Do you want to?
I don't know about own. And I tell people I'm 35 and I'm at my midlife crisis, because this is really actually midlife, kind of thing. Like, this is my midlife crisis right now. What should I do? I've gone back and forth with getting out of the industry, maybe going back to school, maybe doing something with a degree. But also, I do want to maybe move up to management, learn more about my industry. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy the people that I meet doing this. So I go back and forth. I don't know about owning a bar. I think that'd be too much. I would like, I've thought of maybe a food truck, because I do like like I said, the industry. Maybe a food truck kind of thing, or just being like management somewhere. Being like a management, either at a hotel or a bar or something.
Sure.
Just to kind of see, a lot of people are like, no, management, don't do it. I was a bar manager back in El Paso for about a year before I moved over here. They had live music, so I was in charge of booking the bands on a weekly basis, of course, hiring, schedules, interviews, weekly inventory, pars, set up, all the fun stuff, things like that. So, and like you said, I like working, period. And, sky's the limit, I hope, wherever the industry will take me.
Let me ask you a serious question. Go ahead, Brad.
Oh, no, I was saying, is the restraining order still in place on Fish? That's all I want to know. This guy
at least the parking lot.
At least the parking lot.
At least the parking lot. What's that? 500.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I'm just gonna put a hospital gown on and walk in the bar. Say,
I won't even recognize you.
Dr. Fish.
I won't even recognize you.
There's an etiquette that I think we have to all come to agreement with. And Brad and I was, I think you agree with this. When you're working with someone, okay, and let's say you're working with another bartender.
Yeah.
And this happened to me. Okay. I'm working. I got a huge booger in my nose.
Yeah.
And they never tell me. So when I go to take a leak on my break, I see the booger in my nose, and your ego tells you that booger was never there in the 30 steps it took you to get from the bar to the bathroom. So let's get this straight. Brad, if you're in a situation in a bar or a lift and you look, and you see something, you got to tell the other person, right, Dave? Always. There's got to be some kind of a signal.
Always. That goes with, the lipstick on the teeth for the girls, mascara here somewhere. There's a lot of, a little bump in your hair that's a little crooked, all the things. I work with a lot of girls, and like I said, I've been there a few years, so I've, we've built our relationship. We're definitely not shy about going like, ooh, girl, you got a little bit messed up right here. Go to the bathroom real quick. I'll wash the floor, kind of thing, So
or something in your teeth or something like that. Hey,
exactly.
Real quick, Brad. Real quick, Deja. You bring up El Paso. Okay. I went to the University of Texas. El Paso is a hidden secret for beauty. I dated a girl, not in El Paso, but she'll watch her face. I fell in love with the girl when I was in college from Las Cruces, New Mexico, which is right around the curve.
Yeah.
And is there sort of a rivalry between those two cities? They're two different states, but I mean, Las Cruces is really close to El Paso.
UTEP, so the University of Texas in El Paso, and New Mexico State University, which is in Las Cruces, NMSU, they do have the little sports rivalry going, where they do like the football, the battle of the border kind of thing, like they like to say.
Battle of the border.
Yes. So there's the border that's right there. So, I mean, yeah, but I mean, El Pasoans, for the most part, we're a friendly bunch. We're a little border city.
I don't know if you know, but Fish puts makeup on before his shifts.
Yeah,
yes,
he does. Yeah. Oh, come on,
this is all natural. No Botox. Let me tell you something about this.
We
this
need
doesn't
to keep
crack.
up with the new generation.
Deja, I'll be 64 on Sunday. You know what? And I'm safe in my
Really?
skin. I
I
look
love that.
fucking good. I
I
look
love
good,
that
dude.
for you.
What?
I always tell everybody the higher the number, the better. Older and older.
Just
Hey,
a number. Just
the
a
older
You
the
know,
number.
wine
we're
there,
old. What do
Brad.
you do?
Yeah.
You
That's
die
What,
young.
right.
We don't want that.
you know what it is? It's hanging around young people. Well, God, I think every bartender that works at Chuck's is in their third. Oh, Josh, the GM, he's in he's maybe 40 or something like that. But other bartenders are in their 20s and 30s, and
Yeah.
they'll say to me, "Well, was Elvis any good or the Beatles?" Yeah,
Yeah.
I had a bartender. They just say to me, "Is is Bruno Mars was Bruno Mars more popular? Is he better than the Rolling Stones and the Beatles?" And I said, "Well, Bruno Mars is great. I'm a fan."
Yeah.
But if he's selling albums at a platinum level 60 years after he started, something else.
Then
So
perhaps. Yeah. See, there you go.
are you a Swiftie? Or what are you? What's your music
I
likes?
was gonna say I love all kinds of music. When I left work today, I had my little 70s station on, and everyone always loves that station. I
Uh,
love my little 70s station too. It plays some good jams. But I have a 19-year-old sister. She's a Swiftie, and of course, I have my 10-year-old daughter. She actually listens to like Korean music. They watch a lot of like Korean things, Korean pop, all kinds of music. And in the bar industry, we listen to everything. You get country, you get your today hits, and I'm Mexican, so I listen to Spanish music. I listen to everything.
I
What
don't know if you know. Oh, go
what's
ahead.
that Korean band, Brad? The BTS. What was the one that
Yeah,
came?
BTS. Yeah.
Oh my,
BTS,
huge! They sold out Allegiant 4 nights
huge.
in a row. Yeah,
Yeah, they had to get
huge.
exactly had to add shows and shows. There's a concert coming up. My daughter told me the name of the band. It's an all girl Korean pop band. It's coming December 7th. So we have to buy tickets for that, of course, because she's hounding me for that. There's an artist we went to. She came to T-Mobile, Melanie Martinez. We had to get tickets to that as well. She's just like a pop, not a Korean one, just a pop star kind of thing. So we have to do all that fun stuff.
That's so great. This has been so much fun. You're a beautiful one, but you're a character. I like that about you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
You
said
know,
we're actors. I just pretend I'm a actress on the show
you-
because I'm really actually kind of shy. But at bartending, you have to be outgoing. You have to be, talk to your people. I pretend I'm an actress on stage.
that's great. I can just imagine the story. You're kind of like a therapist, you guys, right? Do people tell you their problems, and
All the
you have to
time.
give them advice or not? Do you just listen, or do you ever give them friendly advice, or
You
how does
know,
that work?
I thought about being a nurse once, but I would get too involved. If I get too involved in my relationships right now as a bartender, oh yeah, we have people pass away and
Uh,
things like that, and all kinds of things, divorces, everything. People, and like he said, across from the hospital, you have so many people coming in that so and so is having this, that, all kinds of things, happy and sad, all
sure.
the time.
Deja, thank you so much for being on the show. This has
Thank
been
you.
such a treat for both of us. Um, I think Fish, you could probably learn something from Deja. I'm telling you, she knows.
Always. But
She knows.
bartending's a learning experience, and the way she talked about handling the phone thing, I just hey get off the phone, because
Yeah.
sometimes you get in a conversation, and like I said, if you get bored with me, walk down the street. If you well, you won't get bored with her. But if you want something to eat and see an old guy that looks good, come see me. Deja,
And
that's Timbers down the street, Fish Shucks
Yes.
Tavern. We are the graveyard bartenders.
Yes. Here
yes,
we go again. Let's take a nap so we can do it all over again.
See you
Deja,
tonight, kid. Yeah.
thank you
See
so
you
much,
later, guys.
Deja.
Good to meet you.
All the best to you and your
You guys
10-year-old
too.
daughter. Thank
You
you.
got it. You have a good day.
We'll see
You
you
too.
soon. I'll be popping in to see
I
you.
hope to see
Okay.
you soon. Yes, come on and visit us.
Take
Yeah,
care.
thanks, Deja.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
What a great girl. Ah, she's great.
What a personality, yeah. And like I
Yeah.
said, that's competition, but we share so many of the same customers. And what she'll do, which is phenomenal, is maybe their kitchen might shut down. She'll send people over to eat at my place.
Uh-huh.
She's so good like that. I mean, it's such a great mix. And like, hey, look, you have great food at Timbers, but we're looking for a seafood or a concept. Go next door. Fish has it. Fish has fish. So,
You help
um,
each other out. That's great. That's
we
wonderful.
lost and thank you so much, Deja, and may you make a lot of money and have a great career in this business, but there's someone that had a great career that had a big impact on my life. So I'm going to show you a meme. You talk about him for as long as you want, and then I'll want to get into this guy of what his career in Hollywood meant to me. That's James Earl Jones died at 93, and that's Darth Vader at I mean, it's just so sad. He's 93, had a great life. He played Darth Vader. He's the voice of CNN, a million things, Field of Dreams, just a ton of work in this business. Brad, is he one of the icons you looked up to and took
Oh,
something from?
James Earl Jones is one of the good guys in our business. I mean, he gave back to the business. He helped young people, young actors, young voiceover people. Um, I only heard good things about him. Only good things about him. No one ever said a bad word about James Earl Jones. And I just want to say, you're in heaven doing your work. He's, doing voiceovers, and he's making people laugh. He was quite a man. He was a really great guy. And you'll ask other actors, have you ever worked with him? Or, oh yeah, he was so accommodating on set. He would know his lines. He was the quintessential actor. He was just a great man. 93. What a life. What a life. Thank you, James
When I
Jones.
look at an actor, you have it. I'm just not kissing your big fat ass. You have this. It's being you're a comedic man, but you can be serious in your roles. I love what Adam Sandler and Steve Carell, even Will Ferrell's done massive work. Same, they learned it from this guy because I'll give you two roles that I really just was stunning for me. Him in The Sandlot, which was 1993, about the four kids, and he played the old man that was blind, and also Field of Dreams. It was just a
Oh,
brilliant role playing that writer, and that one line he had about Ray, don't sell this field. Baseball marks the time. It tells us when things were good and will be again. That monologue he had, it's just that film that meant a lot to me, anyways. But think of the body of work. The
oh,
body. I mean, give me one of your favorite roles. I mean, look, give me one of your favorite roles that he did, Bradley.
I mean, it was probably, I would say, Field of Dreams, one of my favorite movies. He was brilliant, brilliant in it. But I love his voice. That's the great thing. You're
Oh,
listening to something, and then you go, oh, that's James Earl Jones. Oh my gosh. He did so many voiceovers. I mean, the range he had as an actor, and he was so likable. That's the great thing about being an actor. There's like Kevin Costner. I'll take him for example. He's not the greatest actor, but he's so likable. He could read the phone book and people would go see his movies. Some of these actors, I mean, they're not the greats of, of Scene Study and Meisner and all that stuff, but there's first a likability. You want to watch them, you like them. They remind you of someone dear to you, and he fit that bill. He
he
fit
did.
that.
Woody Harrelson, Kevin Costner, Denzel Washington. You like Denzel Washington. You like him as people. I think Costner's a good actor. Um,
Yeah.
another role, and we'll get off him for a
But he
second.
plays
We'll get
himself. Don't you realize he kind of plays himself? No way
sometimes, but
out.
you know what? I thought he was No Way Out that he did. He played the Russian spy with Gene Hackman. He was
Yeah.
terrific in that spy role. And
Yeah.
there's times, you see him in the Yellowstones. Yeah, Bull Durham and Field of Dreams. Kevin Costner plays himself. How about James Earl Jones in one of my favorite movies that came out in 1982? Played a character named Thulsa Doom in Conan.
Oh,
Do you remember that, Brad? What a villain he was. I mean,
yeah. Yeah.
that turnaround stare he had when he knows that Conan's in back of him. Oh my! I mean,
Yeah.
just you know
Yeah.
what he did? He does what you do. When he's on when he's on the film or on the stage, he entertains you, takes you out of the bullshit we're going to talk about in 20 seconds. Like, the- did you take? Let's do a nice segue. Let's go from the brilliance of James Earl Jones to that debate we watched on Tuesday night. Give me your take.
Oh man. Kamala cleaned his clock. Absolutely cleaned his clock. He was out of his element, and he was just so negative, and she used it as fuel for her fire. And, of course, he came out and said, I don't need to do any more debates. I did great in those two. Listen, Biden, didn't show up that day. It was quite sad, but she was fantastic.
Her
Geraldo
strategy, her
Rivera
strategy was,
and
yeah.
yeah, I mean, everybody's saying it. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting. I mean, we're getting close. We're getting
Well,
close.
that's the thing. 67 million people watch it, but everyone's got their mind made up on who they're going to vote for, But you got to look at the personalities. I thought Trump was actually comedic in some points when he talked about the dogs and cats. And I like when he said, "Where's Biden? Where's Biden? Where's on the beach?" He had some moments that. But what she did, whether you like him or not, is she baited him. That was her strategy, and he
Yep.
fell for it. And of course, if you like Donald Trump, he won the debate. If you like Kamala Harris, she won the debate. Um, that being said, this is one of the most extremely close races 7 weeks before an election ever. I don't like listening to the polls. The only poll that really matters is what's going to happen on November 5th. Am I right?
Yep. I agree. Totally agree. Polls you can watch, hear. Everybody's got their take on this.
Yeah.
And these polls, it could say, oh, Trump is up by 20%, or Trump is this and
Points.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bottom line is, you got to wait till the day, because the whole thing could change overnight. So I'm not into
Hillary
politics.
was up huge going into the last week. It's a land, and she did win by a lot of votes. But it's how you, and we say this at we want people, we want to get people to get out there and vote. It's how you handle the swing states and the rust states. That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. California, New York are Brad Grunberg's if he's running for the president of the United States if he's a Democrat. That's it. Texas and Florida are the Republican.
Right.
It's with Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. That is it. Whoever wins those states wins the election. Now I'm giving you election 101. Sports. I cannot believe how great the Arizona team. I watched Arizona State last night. They played
Wow.
West Texas State, which is right out of San Marcos, right, not close to Austin, where I went to college. Great game. The quarterbacking in Arizona between Arizona State and the kid from Arizona, phenomenal. They're when's the last time you went to college there? When's the last time you've had two quarterbacks in your rivals, Arizona State, that are talked about as Heisman candidates? Never.
Absolutely incredible. Yep. I mean, November 20th, they play the last game of the season. They're going to play each other. It's going to be in Tucson, Arizona. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be a great game. I mean, ASU, they were unbelievable. They were really, they're so well coached, and I love Arizona because, I went to the University of Arizona, changed my life. But, both of us love sports, and, it's going to be a great game.
18 baseball games left. Now we're going to be in the third week of the college football season. And interesting, two things about college football we'll bring up. We had Hardline was phenomenal in his pro pick, 69%. 69 means a lot to a lot
Wow.
of people, but when you're 69%, but where I remember I said last week on the show, and I said when he picks a team on the show, he'll start texting me, "What the fuck's going on?" Remember he said Notre Dame's going to have a chance for national championship. They lost to Northern Illinois. That's like you and all the. Remember that video you sent me of all your guys playing basketball in Pee Wee League
Yeah.
and you had a
Right.
reunion? That's like
Uh-huh.
you guys beating the Warriors
Yeah.
in a pickup game. And so that was great. This is something near and dear to my heart. We bring it up all the time. Can you believe that four teams, good teams, MAC teams, Boise State, Fresno State, four teams are joining the Pac 12 next year to make it six with Washington State and Oregon State. And there's a good chance at Cal and Arizona. So at least we're going to get the Pac 12 back. And
Yeah.
it's not going to be UCLA and USC, but it's going to be the Pac 12 and it's going to represent the West Coast where we grew up. You in on that?
Yeah. Why are they doing that? Why? I mean, they had Arizona move to the Pac-12. Why are they doing that? Why are they
Well,
bringing?
I'll tell you why. Arizona and Arizona State went to the Big 12, where Colorado is.
Right.
Texas and Oklahoma went to the SEC, and Washington, UCLA, and USC went to the Big Ten, Ohio State's conference. That left, and then everyone else became independent, and the only two teams that wanted to stay in were Oregon State and Washington State. And I guess the regents of the Pac-12 said, we're getting so much shit, and there's such a legacy for this conference that goes back 120 years. Let's see if throw it out there to some of the independents or teams that want to leave if they want to join. And 4 teams right away that are known. Fresno State's got a great program. Boise State's got a great program. You're
Yep.
familiar with these schools, Brad.
Sure.
It doesn't replace Arizona, Arizona State, UCLA, USC, but at least it's going to bring some relevance back to the Pac-12 and make it a conference again. They get 2 more teams, then they'll be eligible to put a team in the playoffs. And who knows? It'd be great. I'm nostalgic for the Pac-10, Pac-12,
Right.
and it breaks my heart that it disbanded over money, but that's life.
Yep. Sadly enough, follow the money trail. My 12th grade English teacher, he's like family. He taught me so much. I learned nothing in his class, but he taught me a lot about life. Follow the money trail. Always follow the money trail. You'll get your answers, But some great football, man. Some great football is being played.
I'm
watch out
miserable.
for Buffalo. Watch out for Buffalo. They might do something because no one really said anything about them preseason. They're playing fantastic. Josh Allen, he's now got some people with around him that deliver. That running back is unbelievable. Last
James
night,
Cook,
he was.
What's your take on Tua? I have an interesting take. Tua got his 5th concussion, and this is going to sound horrible. I'll go first.
Yeah, go first. Okay.
I saw Patrick Willis, Luke Kuechly, stud defensive players, one for Carolina, one for the 49ers, both leave the game 4 years into it because of many concussions. It seems to me if the kid stays, and I can't tell him what to do with their life, but he's had 5 concussions that they know of. If you continue to do this and you continue to have concussions, it's hard for anyone to have empathy for you when you get older. Is that a horrible thing to say, Brad?
Listen, your health is your wealth. Okay, health is your wealth. He has plenty of money.
Yeah,
he's got to live. And I heard this on ESPN last night. He's got to live his life. When football ends, you got to go on and live your life. And you see all these unbelievable NFL players, and they have these terrible brain injuries, and they get these disease, Parkinson, all sorts of stuff because of these concussions. I mean, I think I listen. He has to make his own decisions, but he's a great player. I hear he's a fantastic guy.
Oh yeah, huge.
Huge guy, huge. But I think he has to really look at this, and I mean, really, sit down with his family and decide what he wants to do. But
exactly, it's easy for us to make our comments because we're not him,
right?
But the team is insured against stuff like this, and he got just on a huge contract with his son, so money will be no issue. He's in his middle to late 20s. So you're right. He's got a family, and he's such a great kid. I watched him on Hard Knocks last year. And I love the coach, Mike McDaniel, just a real hippie type guy. But it brings up an interesting conversation because the movie Concussion with Will Smith, and the league paid millions, almost $1 billion in lawsuits for guys for kind of covering up. The concussion thing's a big aspect of the NFL. They've done a great job in curbing it, but you can't. And it's a tough situation because you're telling an athlete, don't do this anymore. And I just have a headache, but unfortunately with the brain, you said, how about the CTE that hit Junior Seau and all these guys that get these horrible anger stuff years later from the concussions? It's concerning. And I hope he sits down with his family, makes the right decision. Maybe I'm being an asshole about it. I just think if you continue to do it and continue to get him and continue to play, look, and you become that person, you did it to yourself. Your ego was that big, that I don't know.
No, it's listen,
tough situation.
These guys, they love football. This is what they've done since they were little kids. And then all of a sudden you take that away. Chances are, if he continues to play, he's going to have another one, right?
Sure.
I mean, that's the sad thing about this. And I'm down on the NFL because they make so much money off all these players, and these players make a lot of money in these contracts. But you got to take care of these guys. You got to do this new helmet. They came out with that. A lot of the players were using in the preseason. I mean, you gotta, speed it up. Protect these guys. I mean, I know things have. It's a violent sport. It's a violent sport, and it breaks my heart to see these guys, in their retirement. Then, they can't get out of bed. Other than the concussions. I mean, the aches, the pains, all the stuff that they go through living their life after football. It's terrible. I mean, it is. And I just wish the NFL would protect these guys better, you know.
It's a violent sport. It's impossible almost.
Yeah.
They're too hard. Can we relive a James Earl Jones moment? I watched a movie this past today is Friday, on Wednesday. Have you heard of it called The Bike Riders?
No. Oh, yes, I have. Yes.
Excellent. It's about a bike club since 1965 to 73, like the Hells Angels of Chicago. Tom Hardy, Austin Butler, Michael Shannon, Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead. I mean, a litany of just great actors. And the girl that played the love interest of Austin Butler was phenomenal. English actors. It's amazing how these English actors and actresses, you've noticed this being an actor, could nail a Chicago or New York accent like crazy. Have you ever seen so that's a great movie. Have you ever seen an American actor, George Clooney, ever do an English accent and not fail? I mean, you have to be so spot on when you have that Cockney accent to do a New York or a Chicago accent, because you look them up on Wikipedia, born and raised in Wales,
Right.
So so my question, as I'm long-winded as usual, have you ever had to do a
No,
role
not you. Not you.
not me, not Mr. Talk. Have you ever had to do a role, Brad Grunberg, where you had to change your accent or have a Russian accent or
I'm not.
English?
Yeah, I'm not really good at that. I'm going. No, I'm not. I'm not really good at accents. I mean, New York accent, maybe a Chicago accent, but I'm a character actor. This is what I do. And when you get me, you get me. You get all of me, and that's a lot of me. But yeah, no, these actors are amazing. I mean, you hear them on talk shows. You're like, what? He, where did that come from? I thought he was from I thought he was from, I don't know, Chicago. I thought he was, born and raised in Buffalo, New York. And all of a sudden, he goes to his real dialect, and you're like, wow, this guy's phenomenal, or a woman for that matter.
Sure.
But the acting is so subjective. But we got amazing actors today. A lot of these young people are. The guy who played Elvis, he's a great actor. I forgot his name.
Austin Butler. He's in this movie. He's one of the leads in this movie, but he's an American. You know what he got his start?
He's a great actor. He's really good. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really good at looking at a film and saying, I remember that guy when he did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and he played Tex Winter, one of the Manson guys that gets to do a little thing with Brad Pitt, you're right. And then you see these guys blow up. It's funny. When we were younger, it was Brad Grunberg, Brad Pitt, George Clooney, and all those guys in the same boat, right? Tom Cruise. Now it's just everything is Chris Hemsworth and Austin Butler.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, by the way, I want to talk about Cloudwater, cloudwaterbrands.com. We talk about it because Barry and Barry, I forgot
and
his
Mark. We could use a case.
Mark.
Yeah.
They came up with this wonderful company. It's like it's a seltzer. I was never into this, but it's very good for your gut. And I got a big gut, like I've told our viewers and listeners before. But it's so good. Today I'm drinking half tea and half lemonade. And I'm telling you, go to cloudwaterbrands.com, order yourself a case. You'll thank me in the morning. Thank you, Barry and Mark. We love this stuff. And we want our listeners to go to your website and order some. Really good stuff.
2 weeks from today, AJ Pasquale will be a guest for a little bit of a segment about we're getting really close to the Nick Pasquale Foundation golf tournament, which provides scholarships for underprivileged kids in honor of his brother Nick, and just saw just a post on Facebook that tore me apart. On Andrew Klein put a post saying, "There's a moment of every day that I just can't deal with, and I lose it." And he's a victim. We had him on the show, and he's a victim of his daughter committing suicide. Molly's challenge. If nothing ever comes of this show, and I think it will, nothing will come of Brad. But if we could get to one person to stop the bullying through cell phones, and Brad, you'll talk on this more, and I'll end with Keith.
Yeah, Molly Klein was her name. She was 13 years old. She committed suicide because she couldn't take the bullying anymore. See, bullying, I was bullied when I was a kid because I was a fat kid, but bullying's different today because it doesn't stop. It continues on the cell phone when these kids get home, and it's always the cowards, these fucking cowards, guys and girls. They're so jealous. Jealousy's a disease, and Molly was adorable, a beautiful woman. They were jealous of that, and it's sad that Molly didn't reach out to her parents because she was ashamed. And I met her. When I first met her, I knew she was special, and I used to go to Long Beach to visit the family, and it's just so tough. I mean, Stacy and Andrew and Molly's brother Matthew, they got to go on in life, and hopefully, like you said, we grab one person and they stop bullying. They think twice, 3 times about bullying somebody, because you wouldn't like it done to you, right?
No,
That's the thing. I mean, come on. So, and the parents are responsible too. I'm telling you, they raise these kids, and the parents of the girls that bullied Molly, I'm telling you, they know what's going on. They got to check the phones. They got to look at their kids' phones. But we miss you, Molly, every day, and we hope you're in peace.
Keith Berman just kicked the shit out of chemo. He had like 9 sessions, and he's got some strength. He's got some appetite left, and he's fighting a cancer and pancreatic cancer. It's a real tough one. We have family members, friends. The way this kid is attacking this with his positivity, never giving up, and just saying "fuck you, cancer." The scoreboard is in our favor right now, and like I said, Brad, when you're good, Keith, we're gonna drive down and find you. We're gonna take you to wherever you want to eat, okay? And Brad's gonna order 3 things and let you eat 2 of them, okay? It's gonna kill him. Brad, before we get out of here, you did a thing was so great. And his dog Annie celebrated her 12th birthday. We put picture. You just saw the picture of Annie with Brad waking up in the morning. 12 years of Annie. He took her to this. I was so jealous. I'm sitting in a still hot Vegas. He takes her to a dog park in Malibu. First of all, you're smart for 2 reasons. It's a beautiful sight. How many good-looking women were out there?
There were a couple. It was during the week too. But
So
we always go to Malibu. For her birthday, go to the dog park. There's 2 we go to. We just have a great day. We disappear. My mom always said, "Where are you going?" I go, "I can't tell you." And it was so much fun. We had a great day, and on to another trip around the sun for Annie. 13's next year, and she got a clean. I always take her for her yearly physical, and she got a clean bill of health from Dr. Alex Moeller at the Stewart Veterinarian Group. If you were in LA, you got to go there with all your pets, because Alex Moeller. Let me tell you a story about Alex Moeller. Years ago, we had a dog named PJ, a golden retriever, and she needed a blood transfusion. Okay. He brought in his own dogs at California Animal Hospital to save my dog's life. Okay. His own dogs. And she lived many years after that. Unbelievable man, unbelievable guy. The stories are just plentiful. And just want to shout out to Alex Moeller, my man, greatest veterinarian, wonderful guy. But I want to also Keith, I'm going to give you the biggest hug and the biggest kiss when I
Oh,
finally
cool.
meet you. Yeah, no, it's frightening, but
Yeah.
it's going to be fun because we're going to have a lot of laughs. I'm gonna chop up fish for you, and we're gonna have a great time. But
Okay.
what a day, man! What a day, number 77.
Keith is Carrie Fisher in your Jabba the Hutt. Takes away Jake
You've
London.
been listening to the Fat Fish Podcast, heard on all your favorite platforms. Until next time.